Oh my gosh, could you see how bright it is outside? It's a spring's day out there. Oh my goodness. All right, I've got to get my coffee or my hot chocolate. And then we see what's going on with Harry and Meghan. Then maybe today we can talk about books a little bit. My books. Chocolate. Okay, my darlings, good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a huge cup of chocolate. Huge. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about all things having to do with the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and his beautiful wife. Oh my gosh. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Okay, so me and my modest little YouTube channel. So today what I want to talk about is the fact that I still think that Meghan and Harry need to take a sabbatical. I think they need to take a sabbatical. But I don't think they're listening to me. I don't think they will listen to me. Nobody ever listens to me. And you know what? Maybe I need to take a sabbatical. Think about it. I do this videos every day because I'm pretty much addicted like everybody else. And I just it's addictive. It's difficult to stop. And but I think they should announce a sabbatical. I heard yesterday that Harry announced he'd be doing some stuff in March. So I think he has two things with one with spare and mental health, and the other one with this organization that, and don't ask me the name of the organization because I don't remember for the moment, because I have a memory problem. I have a very serious memory problem, and we're not going to talk about it for the moment, but it's something I need to address. But I just can't. My short-term memory or whatever, long-term, I don't know what it is. I can't remember anything. So I don't remember what I just said. No. Today I wanted to talk about sabbaticals, and I do think that Harry and Meghan should announce a sabbatical and take a sabbatical for different reasons, different strategic reasons. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but I do think that strategically, if I were their advisor officially, which I should be, I'd be calling a timeout. I'd be calling a timeout on my it's like you're a coach of athletes, so you got to know when to pull them out of the basketball game and bench them and or whatever. You need to take a sabbatical. A sabbatical it's a godly thing. It's godly to take sabbaticals. It comes from Hebrew, the word sabbat, and in Leviticus or whatever, you take a sabbatical. In fact, here's Wikipedia on sabbaticals. This is where I got that. I looked it up. A sabbatical is from Hebrew. It's a rest or break from work, you see. Usually it's used in the academic sense, but lately more and more it's used for the general population. Is take some time for personal growth, for writing, just, a time out. Speaking of sabbaticals, as I said, I too probably need to take a sabbatical, but, don't hold your breath because I'm completely addicted to talking about Meghan and Harry. And I haven't written anything in a long time. I'm a writer, although I don't like to call myself a writer because it's not fair to writers for me to call myself that. I need a good editor. And if you are an editor or an editor, do link me up by email, because I do need to get a good editor in my sort of like on my team, because I write a lot, but I need an editor, right? But anyway, so today I thought, okay, take a little sabbatical from Meghan and Harry and talk about your books a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. So if you don't want to hear about my books, you can just mosey right along right here. Okay, my darling? So La Maison Bleue is about that time I tried to buy a house in Normandy. Not the kind of house I've been advocating for Meghan and Harry. I mean, those houses are $1 million chateaus in my dreams. Okay, in my bleeping dreams. Now, this was a house that was very, very inexpensive, and this is the story of what happened when I tried to buy it. Okay, so you got to read that because I think it's hilarious, and then it's not. It's funny and it's not funny, actually, to me. And I can laugh about anything, but that one was not that funny, but it was funny. You know what I mean? Hmm. Then you have Camille. Camille is my only novel, and in fact, I pulled it out yesterday and reread it. And I thought, it's not as bad as I thought it was. As I said, it's never going to win, the Pulitzer Prize or any prize. Um, but it's very interesting. It might be a good Tyler Perry movie. Let me see. Would he do a story like this? Yeah, I think this could be a good Tyler, if you're watching this, yeah, definitely contact me on this one. I think he could adapt this very nicely to a movie because it's set in Paris. It's about this young woman living in Paris who becomes embroiled in an entanglement with a high-powered law partner at a white shoe international law firm in Paris, where she's been teaching English. Now it's complete fiction. It has nothing to do with my life, but I drew from my own sort of like information and so on. But it's total fiction. Please, it's total fiction. Please, oh my God, the horror. Um, they were not slaves. So they were not slaves is a book I wrote in 2020 after George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis. Is where sort of my head just blew up completely. It just blew up. I was like, I can't just like, I have to do something. And even though I tried to not be a lawyer and not to think about myself as a lawyer, this, that, and the next, the lawyer came out. The lawyer came out, and she has come out of hiding in her sabbatical. She's been in a sabbatical for like over a decade. And she's like, no, you have to do something. You have a responsibility. You're not like everybody else. People who don't know are not held to the same standard that people who know are held. And because I did get this legal education, whether I like it or not, I feel like I have a different responsibility in the world and in this particular situation, because I think there are things I understand on a level that, you know, perhaps most other people similarly situated don't understand it. And it's not necessarily an understanding that is on the level of, somebody who is really intelligent and went to very good law schools and et cetera, et cetera. But it certainly is an understanding that's better than many people who are similarly situated to myself. And so I have a higher, I think, responsibility to when you see something, you have to say something, right? And so that's what this book is about. And this book basically was the beginning of the lawsuit I have filed against the British government. But when I wrote the book and after I published the book and I sent the book to everybody and their mother, and nobody gave a damn, absolutely nobody gave a damn. I mean, I sent this book to President Biden, Vice President Harris, Nancy Pelosi, um, Cory Booker, Al Sharpton, Oprah, Gail, Tyler Perry. I mean, just everybody. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody answered. Nothing. Thousands of dollars down the drain. And yes, I'm upset. I'm very upset about that. But okay. And when I'm famous, you guys, don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I don't want to talk to any of you. Okay. Um, no, I'm only kidding. And so I wrote the book, and then I was kind of done with it. And I thought I was done with it, but it's like whatever that force is that made me even write the book in the beginning was not done with me. And it's like, okay, now you have to start the lawsuit. And I'm like, I'm not starting a lawsuit. I'm not starting a lawsuit. I am not starting a lawsuit. And it's like, no, you are starting a lawsuit. You know how you can hear this debate in your own head? And so this is what happened. And the lawsuit had, this part where it says here, third from the bottom, create and fund a DNA and genealogical database for those descendants who wish to know their ancestral identity. I wrote this. I had no recollection at all that I wrote this. I had no recollection at all that I wrote this. I went off to America last year, and when I came back, it was just very clear that I had to start a lawsuit on this particular point, right? And I don't know how to explain it to you other than that. It just comes to me, right? It just comes to me. So I've started a lawsuit. It's in process. It's against the British government and the British state. And I mean, do I think I can win this lawsuit? Probably not. I mean, they're too powerful. They're too big. I'm too little. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard. I'm like, it's beyond. What is this big guy? David and Goliath. It's beyond that. It's like a joke. It's a joke. And they're going to use a lot of shenanigans, a lot of, tricks and mm, whatever. It's, they're going to throw some Harvard people at me if they answer at all. Try to move on a technicality, this kind of stuff. But this is the book that started the journey of this lawsuit and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, for some people, this is woke AF. It's woke AF. And yeah, it's woke AF. But it's true. And I believe that the government has certain responsibilities, and hopefully, hopefully, even if I don't win the lawsuit, it will trigger something in their own sort of collective consciences to do the things I'm asking them to do in this specific lawsuit, right? So, voila. Another of my books that I wouldn't mind if you read, because like I've written so many books, but most of them I'm like, please don't read them, don't read them, this is just horrible. But when Jeannie went to Paris, my first month in Paris, I think, like from 10 years ago, when I read it, well, I guess it's because it's my story, but when I read it, it's very sort of nostalgic and very, I mean, I could see how clueless I was and whatever, I mean, there are many issues. I wish I had an editor to have helped me with it, but I didn't and I don't. So, it's not perfect. Okay, it's not perfect. And there's some French in there that's definitely not perfect. I'm like, oh my God, that's spelled incorrectly or whatever. But yeah, when Jeannie went to Paris, first month of my time in Paris, check that out. And finally, Seduce That Darling, which is a collection of poems, if you can call them poems. I mean, it's more of a stream of consciousness, because that's what I do. I do stream of consciousness, and I call it poems. And this one makes me laugh because it's completely and utterly ridiculous. Completely and utterly ridiculous. But if you have a sense of humor, I think you might find this kind of funny. If you have a sense of humor. If you don't, maybe it's not for you. So yeah, so in terms of sabbaticals, I mean, I think that I have advised Meghan and Harry to announce a sabbatical, take a sabbatical. In announcing a sabbatical, they take the power, but I don't think they're listening. I don't think anybody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. Nobody. So that's it. I don't know if I'm going to take a sabbatical. I'm going to try to take maybe a little bit of a sabbatical, but don't hold your breath, because I'm as addicted to this situation as Meghan and Harry and all their fans and their critics and their haters and whatever. And, so I'm not really in the mood to write more books, even though I have a few projects that I probably should be focusing on a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, these are some of my books. So if you want to support me and support the channel and so on and so forth, take a look at Amazon, by my name, and you'll find these books. And yeah, check them out. Okay. So that's all for now. Let's talk soon, whenever that is, whether it's tomorrow or in a week or in a month or whatever. I don't know. Whatever it is, be safe, be happy, take care, and live and let live. Okay? All right. Bye.